Alright, this is Donkey Kong for the Game Boy, also referred to as Donkey Kong 94, because it came out in 1994. And I guess if you just say Donkey Kong, people won't know what game you're talking about. Although realistically, if you say Donkey Kong for the Game Boy, this is it. But yeah, for whatever reason, Donkey Kong 94 caught on, and that's kind of what it goes by. I recently picked this up at my local game cycle. They're a chain. I'm not sure how big they are, but they're not just like a one-off mom and pop store. They are a bit of a chain, and they posted on Facebook the day before, like a recent haul or like pickups that they recently got. And this was in the picture with the price tag on it, and I thought that was a really good price for this, so I hoped it would still be there. I was at work at the time when I saw it, and so I figured I'll go in there tomorrow morning before I go to work the next day. Hopefully it's still there, and it was. And yeah, like I said, $16 is definitely below eBay pricing. This game on price charting, they say it's $20 US for a loose cartridge, and this is $16 Canadian. It looks to be in really good shape, but I haven't tested it yet. I figured we would open it up, clean it out, and maybe test the battery. Well, let's open her up. I got a small game bit here in my screwdriver, and then the front slides off. Kind of slides down and then pulls off. Looks good inside, I think. I wouldn't really know. A loose piece of plastic just fell out. I wonder where that came off of. I don't know. What do you guys think? Does it look legit? Does this game get copied or faked a lot? I don't know. Like I said, it's not like a super rare game, I don't think. Certainly the price wouldn't indicate that it's a rare game. And yeah, I don't know. It looks like the battery might have been changed at one point, but again, not sure. So yeah, we'll test the voltage on that battery, and we'll give the contacts a little bit of a cleaning. Actually, I just noticed on the battery, I said maybe the battery's been changed, but I just noticed, I don't know if you'll be able to see it there, it says 94-05. I'm assuming that's a date code, in which case 1994, that's when the game came out. So that would be the original battery. The fact the battery is from 1994, I doubt this is a fake. But again, I'm a little surprised the PCB doesn't say Nintendo on it. I think most Game Boy games have opened the PCB. Oh, on the back. Yeah, if you can see that on the back, it says copyright 1989 Nintendo. So with that on the back, and the fact the battery is from 1994, safe to assume it's real, but also that battery might need to be changed. Alright, so I got the multimeter out here. We've got it set to 20 volts DC, which is as low as it goes. And yeah, I think we'll just check it like so. And we've got 3 volts on there, if you can see that. And honestly, that's probably fine. The batteries are rated for 3 volts. When they're brand new, they would be a little bit higher than that, maybe 3.2 volts. But I think at 3 volts, it's probably still fine. So I'm going to clean the contacts, and then we will give it a test. Alright, so I've got the white eraser, and some people like to do the white eraser. Let's see, I just did a section there. It definitely made them a lot shinier. Yeah, I'll just do the whole thing with the white eraser. Oh yeah, much shinier. I blow off the excess. Little bits of the eraser come off there. And then I'll finish it off with some IPA. Just for the heck of it. And then again, this goes on and slides upwards. the screw really just holds it from sliding back down. Don't need to over tighten it too much. And there we go. I'll take those stickers off eventually, but I'm going to keep them on for now. I kind of like the reminder that I only paid $16 for this. Alright, so let's pop that in the Game Boy. And turn her on. And, well, right away, I can tell you that's not gonna... that's not gonna cut it. Yeah, I know, shouldn't blow in it, but... There we go. Looks like the second try is gonna do it. Alright, so that is Donkey Kong for the Game Boy. Now, of course, I could show it to you on the Game Boy. I could show you it on an emulator running as a Game Boy. But the best way to play Donkey Kong 94, as you can maybe tell by that nice little color logo there, that is the Super Game Boy logo. And it just so happens that I've got a Super Game Boy. So this is one of the better games on the Super Game Boy. It's got the custom bezels, and I think it's got some unique sound effects and maybe some other changes. I'm not 100% sure, but it is definitely one to play on a Super Game Boy if you have it. So I will hook the Super Nintendo up and we will play it on there. Alright, so as we can see, there are still save games on here. Who knows how old these are? How long ago were these saved? Or how long ago was this played last? Who knows? Maybe it was in 1995. Maybe it was last week. But I am going to sadly delete these games. They're not mine. I don't know whose they are. And I always like to have my game in slot A. So we've got to delete these. It's sad. Someone's game from many, many years ago is going to get deleted. So the game starts off really just like the original Donkey Kong, the original arcade version of Donkey Kong. It's slightly different. There's still a little bit different animations and move sets with Mario. But the levels are very, very similar. And actually the first 4 levels that you go through are the first 4 levels from the original Donkey Kong. The construction site, the pie factory, I don't know what the other ones are called. But yeah, it's basically you go through the original 4 levels and you're thinking like this is just Donkey Kong all over again. And then that's when the game really starts. Psych, a little bit of a psych out there. This is a modern twist on the original Donkey Kong, with many puzzle aspects added to it. I think in a way, this game is kind of a predecessor to the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games that came out on the Game Boy Advance. I've never played those games, but they are also puzzle platformers. This is a platformer like Donkey Kong, where like the puzzle element kind of is at the forefront. So as you progress through the game, as you get further through each level, you'll kind of start to maybe unlock new elements. There may be the ability to put a ladder somewhere or a switch that will make a bridge close. Stuff like that. And you've got to figure out how to get to the end of the level. The end of the level is basically a locked door. So you've got to get a key, and then you've got to get the key to the locked door. And of course, you can't climb ladders when you're holding the key, but you can throw the key. You can also pick up and throw enemies and some items you can pick up and throw at enemies. So it plays a lot like the original Donkey Kong with added moves, added like features and move sets. And then on top of that, you have the puzzle elements. And like I said, the puzzle elements almost are at the forefront. It's a puzzle platformer. It's not a platformer with puzzles. It's a puzzle platformer. And that's really cool. Honestly, I didn't know about this game back in the day. I don't know how I missed this one. It came out in 94. I might have still had a subscription to Nintendo Power in 1994. I think I did, but maybe this was like late 94, maybe. Not sure. I just totally didn't really know about this game until much later. Much later. I've been wanting to pick up a copy for a while now, and it's not super rare, but I've been just waiting to find a copy locally. The last time I was looking for a copy, I was in Toronto, and there's a game shop in Toronto called like A&C, and I was in there asking about it, and they looked it up in their system, and they said they had a copy, and it was $35. Now, $35 Canadian, I don't know what that would have been, $26, I'm not sure. That's higher than eBay pricing, but the website that I use, price charting, they say this game's worth like $20 US for the loose cartridge. And I would honestly pay, that's $20 US, right? So like, you know, I would pay $25, $30 for a loose cartridge if it was in good shape and it was local or it was in a game store. $35, pushing it a little bit. Didn't matter anyways because they couldn't find it. It was in their system, said they had a copy, but they looked for it and couldn't find it. He said it's probably in the basement somewhere or something like that. So, yeah, that was like the last time I was, you know, looking for this game. And kind of since then, just been waiting for like a local copy on like Facebook Marketplace or something like that. Like I said, this popped up on Facebook from a local game store, and this is a chain. And the fact that they're selling it for $16, honestly, too cheap. Like, guys, you're a game store. You're a chain. You got bills to pay. You got employees to pay. You're selling it for $16 Canadian. That's way under value. For a cartridge in good condition, again, I would have paid $25, $30 for it. I almost felt bad paying $16 for it. It's weird for a chain game store. Like, you go into a game store like that, you expect you're gonna pay eBay pricing, maybe a little bit more. They include the tax at this store, and in Canada that's extremely rare. Like, virtually no stores do that. So that's really like, that's more like $14 or whatever, $14 and $50. So way underpriced. So I don't know what they were thinking there, and I don't think most of their games in there are underpriced. Most of them are going to be eBay pricing, as you would expect. Again, going into a chain store, even a mom and pop store, honestly, these days, you're lucky if it's eBay pricing and they're not gouging. Back to the game for a minute. This is one of the first I think this is the first boss fight. And the boss fights are all unique. They're all like a different layout. They all have a different bit of a premise. So in this one, when Donkey Kong jumps, if you're on the ground when he lands, the ground shakes and you can't move. And if you can't move, that stuff can fall on you and kill you. So you want to jump into the air as he's landing on the ground. Yeah, kind of cool. Again, all these boss fights, I think so far that I've seen, are very unique. Anyways, yeah, so picked this up finally, and never really played this game. I played it for like a year ago or so. I downloaded the ROM, put it in. Well, I have the ROM on my EverDrive, I guess. And so I did play it. Like, I played for the first couple levels. Once you get to the, you know, the real game, after the, I guess the first 4 levels is really the original Donkey Kong levels. But the next 2 levels after that, I played it very shortly to get a taste for it, to see what it was all about. But again, at this point, I'm like, I want to find a real cartridge, and then I will play it. So here we are, finally, after all these years. Here you can move the cursor around on the screen and build a bridge where you want to build a bridge. Took me a second, like the first time this came up. I didn't realize, oh, I can move this cursor around. And then the bridge will appear wherever you place it. But it's like only there for a limited time, it's counting down. So you gotta, sometimes you'll have to run to the bridge in time and get across the bridge before it disappears. It's an amazing concept. Really, like, this is one of the best ways to bring back an old game, and it still feels like the old game. It still plays like the old game. You still have to worry about the platforming aspect of it, and fall damage, and the shit that's getting thrown at you. And sometimes you're paying too much attention to a puzzle aspect, and then you totally forget to dodge a fireball or a barrel that comes flying at you. It's still a Donkey Kong. It's still Donkey Kong. You still gotta jump over those barrels. But you gotta jump over those barrels while you're thinking about how to get a ladder where you need to get the ladder, or a bridge where you need to get the bridge, and it adds a whole new level of immersion or gameplay to the classic platforming Donkey Kong, and I love it. This is an amazing modern take on Donkey Kong, and having the puzzles and the battery backup, making it a longer game. It is more of a home experience than an arcade experience, and that's exactly what they needed. So here's one last example of the puzzles. It's, if you can call it a puzzle, but here I am trying to figure out how to get up to this one platform, only to get up on the platform and realize, yeah, I'm stuck on this elevator that's going up, so I can't get down to the key. I wasn't supposed to go up here this whole time. Because I'm thinking like a ladder can get you up to a place. I'm not thinking that you can build the ladder to go down. So once I realized, because I'm trying to get to the key, and I'm like, how can I get down there? There's a wall to the left. Oh yeah, well I can build the ladder to go down. And now I can get the key, and the elevator takes you up. Duh. Not super difficult, but we're only in World 1. I'm sure the difficulty is going to ramp up. But that's just an example of how the level design itself is part of the puzzle. So yeah, Donkey Kong 94. I am really liking this game so far. The puzzle design so far is very intriguing, I guess. It's kind of like Lemmings meets Donkey Kong. And it's got excellent graphics, excellent use of the Super Game Boy. The way they implemented this bezel to look like a vintage arcade machine is awesome. And it just rounds out the package. Just a great game if you had a Super Game Boy at the time. And of course, obviously, you can play it on the Game Boy. I don't think I'm telling most of you anything you don't know. If you're a fan of the Game Boy, if you're a retro gamer, a fan of Nintendo's history, you're well aware of this game. This is nothing new to you. If you lived under a rock like I did all this time, and it's your first time seeing it, yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? It definitely one worth picking up. Again, it's not very expensive. It's not that rare. It's not that hard to find. So definitely worth picking up. And I guess that's it. I will see you guys later.